And again, I want to ask Des, would you be having the same level of outrage for the non-coverage if this was a black athlete? But also for Malika, where is your level of outrage for an aggrieved female? Either you care about it at the same level or you don't. You're both wrong.
We've got a new What About Brett Favre. We got a replacement for What About Brett Favre. Now it's What About Josh Giddey. And for those of you that don't know, Josh Giddey is some Australian NBA player. I think this guy's around 6'10". He's from Australia, plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I looked up his stats. I'd never heard of the guy, just being totally honest. But I looked up his stats, and he's a player. He averages double figures in the NBA. He's 21 years old. I think last year he may have averaged 16 points a game. Decent player. But right now he's caught up in some controversy as it relates to a girl that he was dating that's a junior in high school, and she may be 15, 16 years old. It's not a good look for Josh Giddey. But everybody's oh, my God. Malika Andrews is getting roasted because she's not talking about Josh Giddey, and they're playing every card in the book. They're bringing up who Malika Andrews is dating. There she is with her boyfriend, Dave McMenamin, who also works for ESPN. Malika has had some strong comments, I think, about, and I can't even, I'm missing the name of some black athlete where they, Ime Udoka. Yeah, she was critical of the Celtics coach who lost his job over, sexual impropriety with a coworker or whatever. She's made a little comment about him. Anyway, I want to read you Des Bryant's tweet. We're not going to play. She did a little short report. I want to read Des Bryant's tweet. Malika Andrews, you went out of your way to crucify. Oh, this is the other one. Went out of your way to crucify Brandon Miller, the Alabama kid, on draft something. Why haven't you said nothing about Josh Giddey? I advise you not to make this a black or white thing. Your parents really raised you wrong, and just because you went to a private school don't make you better. You appeal, and I know you're kind. You just a puppet. I don't know how a former or current NBA player could sit there across from you and look at you with some kind of respect. So Josh Giddey is the new What About Brett Favre? Listen, if it turns out that he was having inappropriate relationships with a 15-year-old, obviously that's terrible. Obviously, police should be involved. Obviously, he should be punished. But as of right now, I think he's still an active member of the OKC Thunder. I'm not sure what they want Malika Andrews to do. I'm not sure why we can't let the facts play out here. Kobe Bryant was accused of rape and continued to play throughout an entire NBA season. And no, that wasn't an underage girl, but there was an accusation of rape, and Kobe Bryant continued to play. We got to have a standard of justice here. And all of this micromanaging of, hey, is there enough outrage directed towards this person? And is it immediate? This all seems very gimmicky and foolish to me.
Well, should his last name now become Giggity Giggity? Shout out to all the Family Guy friends out there. Went all quagmire. I have a question for Des Bryant. Would you have the same amount of outrage for Malika Andrews if Giddey was black, though? Would you want that covered? Because when you say let's not make it, or you're talking about making it a racial issue or not, well, that's exactly what you're doing, because I get the feeling, just an assumption that I'm making, that if this was a black athlete, you wouldn't have had that tweet. Now, there's actually a point where I do agree with a lot of these people, though. If Malika Andrews is this feminist who cares about women's rights and the way men treat women, then yes, she should have the same amount of outrage. She should be calling into Stephen A. shows and trying to lecture and wag the finger. See, that part I actually agree with. Either you are a feminist that you care, but if it's a lighter shade of paleness, and if you're laying off, yes, they actually have a point, but they're both kind of wrong here. Number one, Malika, for not having the same level of intensity, but at the same time, only being upset at this on the opposite end because Josh Giggity Giggity is white. They're both wrong. Versus the flu.
No question, Steve. Just trying to sort through my own feelings because again, I didn't know who this kid was. I had to look him up. When I saw the name, I'm like, I don't know. I don't follow the NBA like that anymore. And part of the reason is because, just quite frankly, and you call me a nationalist, call me whatever, it's the same reason. I grew up in Indianapolis. And once the Indy 500 started having all these guys from foreign countries with names I couldn't pronounce, I checked out of the Indy 500, and I used to be a huge IndyCar 100 fan. Same thing going on with the NBA. Luka Doncic, as much as I like to watch him play, he don't hit me the same way that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, those guys that came with brands from college and were these great American success stories. It just doesn't connect with me the way that it does. And so I don't know if I'd have much passion if Giannis Antetokounmpo got into trouble because he ain't an American. I don't care as much about the NBA. It's filled with players from that straight out of high school, didn't accomplish much in college, or came from some foreign country. It's hard for me to get passionate about some guy I know nothing about. And so Ime Udoka, he's the coach of the Boston Celtics. I kind of knew who he was. He led a team to the NBA Finals, I believe. I didn't even know who Josh Giddey was. And to this, I still don't. I'm not sure if Des Bryant really knows. Who's looking for the OKC Thunder that much since Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook left? Anyway, not to make it see, I'm just keeping it real. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, it's the double standard, no standard. We have no standards for me, but a double standard for you. And again, I want to ask Des, would you be having the same level of outrage for the non-coverage if this was a black athlete? But also for Malika, where is your level of outrage for an aggrieved female? Either you care about it at the same level or you don't. You're both wrong.
Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.